Story. Upon waking up in the ICU, the wife heard what her husband was saying on the phone and was shocked. The struggle to carry on, or to stay, was complicated. Never before had Violetta suffered so much. To open her eyes, the clean scents were strange, and the silence, unfamiliar. Until, amidst the indecision, she heard a voice she recognized, familiar. She thought for a few seconds and said to herself, "Marcos, it's Marcos. I miss my Marcos. If only I had the strength to get up, but I don't know why I feel so weak." In the end, loneliness was no longer an issue. Her heart ached in her chest. It was about the husband she longed to encounter, to embrace once more, to affirm that she felt happy with him. When she slowly opened her eyes, she realized there were no people around her, only monitors, cables, and medical equipment. The room's door was slightly ajar. Marcos's voice could be heard from afar, though understood. Perhaps her hearing was sharper than she thought. "Tell me, when could you register the properties in my name? You know she won't last much longer at that mark." Violetta was startled by what she heard. Her head buzzed, and she continued to hear, "I want you to search for her entire inheritance and transfer it to me. I don't know how you're going to do it, but you will, because if you don't, I won't give you anything." There was no other reason. He was talking about her. She wanted to swallow, but her throat was dry. "Please, a little water." The woman fought on the bed, but she knew she shouldn't get up or ask anyone. "And when will you come to see me? You know I miss you, and now you won't be afraid of her coming back anymore. Everything will be yours, my love, you'll see." Violetta, as she listened, was absolutely certain she couldn't reveal that she had come back to life. The doctor was heard talking to the husband. It was odd because now, with a broken voice as if in pain, he was asking the doctor how much longer he had to suffer. "Doctor, please, may she no longer suffer, I love her so much." "Don't worry, sir, don't lose hope, and remember, you don't need to be here at the hospital. Please, let me know if anything. And don't tell anyone, except me." The husband left. The doctor pressed some buttons on the monitors while saying to the woman, "Oh woman, it seems like you want to be buried alive. You will find the strength to outweigh death." The woman was once again indecisive about saying something or not, but this time her dry throat prevented it. She made a strange sound and opened her eyes. The doctor, satisfied, left the room calling a nurse, and several doctors took blood samples, examined them, and simply left. In the room, only the nurse remained. Moved by the situation, she applied wet cotton to Violetta's mouth. The woman opened her mouth, or rather as best she could, and pressed the cotton with her lips to allow the water to enter her throat. The nurse, seeing the need expressed, simply said slowly, "For now, this is all I can offer you. Please, be patient." She coughed and hastily said, "Please, call the doctor immediately." The nurse ran out and returned promptly with the doctor. "Please, don't tell my husband about this. Please, don't worry. We understand the silence, and we'll keep quiet for now," said the nurse. "Please, don't allow the husband to approach or enter the area." The doctor left, the nurse remained, and Violetta asked her to announce her as deceased so that her husband would think he was a widower. The nurse smiled as she injected serum into her. "For now, you will only be fed through serum." In Violetta's mind, her husband's words continued to echo. How could she have an affair when she always devoted herself to home and the inheritance she received, and the businesses she built were meant for the family's betterment? Her husband or family never suffered for anything, they always lived as they pleased. If only she could go home, she'd tell her entire truth, and I swear I'd never leave a cent behind. Some days passed, and the woman began to feel better. The doctor, during a visit, said to her, "I see you're doing very well, Violetta. How are you feeling?" "Physically well, although that wound stung when I heard Marcos with his lover trying to seize all of my wealth." The doctor took her hand and comforted her. "You'll be fine, you'll see. Don't be ashamed, you know I can't hide the fact that you came back to life a long time ago. Tomorrow, they will change rooms and you'll have to face him face to face, but I still don't have the strength. It frustrates me that my husband, with whom I shared so much, speaks of me like this and has been unfaithful to me for so long. I don't understand it either, Violetta, but you must be strong because life doesn't end here. I know it, everything will end when I divorce, and I will ask him as soon as I can get up. Since Marcos left, a week ago, there hasn't been any hospital call to his phone, and the truth is, I already felt impatient, not knowing if I was finally a widower. So, he returned to the clinic and went to the ICU area. He dressed as a grieving husband and asked, "I need to know how patient Violeta Hernandez is, please." An older nurse who wasn't aware of the situation went to the old room, while Marcos followed and said, "She's not here." After a few days, the husband, unaware of what had happened, his face adorned with a smile trying to conceal his joy, left the hospital while speaking on the phone. Violeta, from the room next door, looked at Marcos's happiness on the street while talking on the phone. It seemed like the man was trembling with joy. Filled with anger over Marcos's actions, she decided it was time to go home to confront him. She called her doctor to inform them that she was heading home, to which the doctor furrowed their brow and said, "But, Mrs. Violeta, I don't know if you remember, but just a few days ago, you left the ICU and are still under treatment. I promise I'll be back, I just need some time to sort everything out. If they won't let me, I'll go anyway, I'll sneak out at night." The irritated doctor handed her the documents, she signed her discharge papers, called a taxi, and left. Upon entering her family's house, she saw a young woman in a short dress saying, "Move the fireplace, I don't want it in the house, I need a family portrait there." Violeta walked into the house, and Marcos paled as if he had seen a ghost. How was it possible that his wife, who had passed away a few days ago, could be there with him again in their home? "Hello, Marcos. But how is this possible?" "Shut up, man, you have minutes to gather your things and leave with that woman. I don't want you in my house anymore." "But my love, I thought you were dead, you don't know how much I suffered and what I had to do to endure the pain of your absence." He started crying. "Stop lying to me with those fake tears. Of course, you missed me immediately. You found someone to enjoy my inheritance, my money. Get out. Violeta, what you see here is no longer yours, nothing is yours anymore. You've been away for so long, and now you come to claim a story that you abandoned. Marcos, I was hospitalized, and I didn't abandon anything." Violeta called the guards, who removed a man and his lover from the house. She called some locksmiths who, in less than an hour, changed all the locks. Additionally, she instructed the guards not to let anyone in until she returned. Violeta went back to the hospital to continue her treatment. She did so. Some weeks passed, and she tried to stay as relaxed as possible so her body could absorb any improvement. Once Violeta was discharged, she filed for divorce due to infidelity. Marcos requested half of all the assets acquired during the marriage. The judge ruled that he was only entitled to half of the house, so Violeta put half of the house up for sale, and Marcos agreed, wanting to leave everything behind. The woman understood that men like Marcos, who had lied to her for years, weren't worth it. She returned to the hospital to talk to her doctor, arrange a meeting, and thank God for opening her eyes at the exact moment she needed to move on with her life. The doctor accepted Violeta's invitation, and she waited as he finished an emergency operation. Several years later, the two adults were getting married, and she was fulfilling the dream of finally having a family. Her companies continued to thrive. Additionally, a new medical company was established. Remember, everyone deserves a second chance in life. Violeta's journey reminds us of the importance of moving forward, even in the face of adversity. Don't forget to subscribe for more inspiring content like this. Until the next video, folks.